She fixed her father's broken truck for free. But before they could even celebrate, a mysterious flatbed trailer rolled into the garage, and what it carried would change their lives forever. Asterisk. The garage smelled faintly of oil, steel, and old coffee. The kind of scent that told you everything in here had a story. Every dented wrench, every faded calendar, every scratch on the concrete floor. Harold, a seasoned mechanic with hands like sandpaper, was hunched over the hood of his rust-bitten pickup. It had been stalling for weeks, but lately it refused to start altogether. "Dad." A soft but steady voice called from behind him. "You're still on that old thing?" Harold turned to see his daughter, Kira, standing in the doorway. She had just come back from college for the weekend, still wearing her dark blue overalls, her curly hair tied up in a bun. Her eyes sharp and observant, the eyes of someone who could read a problem before it even spoke. "This truck's been with me longer than most folks in my life," Harold said, wiping his brow. "I'm not about to let it go now." Kira stepped closer, glancing into the open hood. "Your carburetor's flooded," she said matter-of-factly. "And that distributor cap's seen better days." Harold smirked. "Oh, so the fancy engineering student thinks she knows better than her old man?" Kira grinned back, but there was a flicker of something else in her expression, the quiet confidence of someone who did know better. "Move over, Dad," she said, reaching for his tools. Harold hesitated, then stepped aside. He watched as Kira worked, her movements quick and precise. She drained the excess fuel, replaced the cap with one she found tucked away in an old box, and tightened a few loose connections he hadn't even noticed. Her hands worked like she was born to do this, not just with skill, but with a kind of love for the machinery. "Try it now," she said, stepping back. Harold turned the key, and the engine roared to life like it had been waiting for her touch all along. He blinked, a little stunned. "You fixed it." Kira shrugged, hiding a smile. "Guess I did. You know I owe you for this, right?" Harold said. Kira shook her head. "You don't owe me a thing, Dad. It's family." Before Harold could say more, the sound of rumbling tires filled the air outside. A long, low shadow stretched across the garage floor as a flatbed trailer rolled in. The driver, a wiry man in a baseball cap, climbed out and walked over. "You Harold?" He asked. "Yeah," Harold said cautiously. "What's this about?" The man jerked his thumb toward the flatbed. "Got a delivery for you. Special order." Harold frowned. He hadn't ordered anything, but when he stepped closer, his breath caught. On the trailer sat a massive, gleaming 1957 Chevy Bel Air. Jet black with chrome trim, its paint polished like glass. "This has to be a mistake," Harold said. "I can't afford something like that." The driver handed him a folded piece of paper, paid in full, anonymous sender. "Said you'd know why when you saw it." Harold's hands trembled as he unfolded the note. Inside, there were only a dinga, few words written in neat, looping script. "For the man who never let me give up." Well, Harold's mind spun. The only L he could think of was Leon, a kid he had taken under his wing years ago, a troubled teenager who had wandered into the garage one rainy afternoon asking for work. Harold had taught him everything he knew about cars. Leon had eventually left town to start his own business, and Harold hadn't heard from him in years. As Harold stood there processing, Kira walked up beside him, her gaze fixed on the car. "That's beautiful," she whispered. The driver began unloading the Chevy, and Harold ran his hand over the smooth metal. It was flawless, down to the last detail. He couldn't help but think about how much work had gone into restoring something like this. The patience, the skill. "You think this is real?" Kira asked quietly. Harold nodded slowly. "It's real. And it's a reminder." "A reminder of what?" "That when you pour into people, sometimes it comes back to you in ways you'd never expect." Kira looked at him for a long moment, her eyes softer now. "Like you did for me." Harold smiled faintly. "Exactly like that." But before they could savor the moment, the driver spoke up again. "Oh, there's more." He pointed to the back of the flatbed, where a large, locked toolbox sat. Said, "This goes with it." When Harold opened the box, he found stacks of pristine tools, high-end wrenches, precision gauges, a full welding kit, worth more than he could ever dream of buying. And at the very bottom, there was another note. "Use these to teach the next one. Someone out there needs you like I did." Harold swallowed hard. He could feel the lump in his throat growing. Kira placed a hand on his shoulder. "Looks like you're not done teaching." Harold looked at her, at the tools, at the car. Then he looked back at his daughter, her hand still smudged with grease from fixing his truck. "No," he said, "I'm not done. Not by a long shot." The sound of the Chevy's engine starting for the first time in years filled the garage. And as the sun dipped low, casting golden light across the concrete floor, Harold realized something. This wasn't just about cars. It was about legacy. And that day, in the heart of the old garage, the legacy had just grown by 2 more sets of hands.